Yeah. What's good?
Man, ain't shit, man. What it do?
How you living?
Man, I'm good money, man. They had to make me, I had to update this app in order for me to get on.
Well, at least they updating the app.
Yeah, I hope there's some new features on this motherfucker.
Man, saying we need some new music too.
Woo.
Shoot, you just got back from New York, right?
Yeah, I just got back from NFT NYC.
Now this was your first year.
Yeah, this is my first year.
Tell me about your experience.
Um, so, so it was a very, very interesting NFT week. So we got there on the 19th, and I didn't speak until the 22nd. So the 20th and the 21st, we were staying in the hotel where they was hosting the conference at. Bro, it was so many people in that fucking hotel, bro. So my first speaking engagement, I was pitching Mirror's Wellness Club. And it was a 5 minute pitch. And I'm pretty much just pitching what it's about. Bro, I promise you I was on that stage for it felt like 1 minute, and they was like, time's up. I was like, time's up. They gave me this little slide, cause I had did a presentation and everything about the shit. I was like, man, if I knew this shit was gonna be this quick, I wouldn't even fucking did the presentation. I'm pressing the button, going through the slides and shit. I got through like 3 slides. They were like, time's up. I was like, oh, well, I'm out. And then the second panel was supposed to be 4 people. It ended up being 2. And that was about wellness and burnout. And I actually enjoyed that panel. I was on with an NFT collector named, I think it was Ronnie, or he might pronounce it Ronnie. And we were just talking about burnout, how that relates to mental health, and how you can still be in the best mental health but still burn out by not finding balance, not taking time to do those different things. And then afterwards, we had some downtime, and then we had our Mirror's Wellness first public mixer at Last Lap that was super successful, sponsored by MetaMask and Telly. Shout out to the sponsors. And then after that, I went and met with a few investors on some venture capitalist shit, just to go kick it and hang out with some shit that we invested into. Then from there, I went to the Venice party, and then that was pretty much it. The next day we flew out.
Man, that was plenty.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty active.
Anyone you meet during this weekend that left an impression on you?
I met this guy named Tony, who he said he came to NFT New York. He didn't go to none of the shit at the conference. He said every day he just comes and sits by the bar, and that's how he meets people and network. Tony owns about 50 billboards in the UK, and he was launching an NFT where if you buy his NFTs, you get to promote for free on his billboards in the UK. But I just thought it was very unique that he came and was like, nope, I'm not going to nothing in the conference. I'm just going to come to the hotel where the conference is being held and sit at the bar. And that's how I met him.
I'm sorry, that's player.
Yeah, he had a strategy. Strategy wins.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, no, that was listen, he was drinking his beer, and fucking talking back and forth and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Now, based on this being your first time in New York for an NFT event like this, what's your biggest takeaway? What did you see in the NFT live space that you didn't recognize online, or just in the way that you've been networking so far?
Well, what I realized is that it's very, very heavily community building, community driven. And being that it's community driven, right now there's a crash in multiple markets, from the stock exchange to crypto. Crypto is down by like 40, 50, 60%. And what I learned through that process with this cryptocurrency and NFT, specifically the NFT community, they really is a community. everybody's not there for money, just solely, you know? They really are like down and trying to support one another. It's not about how much money they're making off crypto, right? And the reason I say that is because the guy I was speaking with on the panel, bro, he almost started crying on the panel when he was talking about the acceptance of the community and how it's been for him and how these people that he had no clue how they looked, where they was raised at, how they have been so open and non-judgmental and opening for him to come and be a safe space in this community. And now they're like his real friends. And he was getting choked up. I was like, oh shit, I need to say something before this nigga start crying on stage in front of all these people. But
you really felt it too? Like that was genuine?
Oh, I seen the tears come in his eyes, nigga. It wasn't no feel. I saw it. Like, you know, it's sometimes when you be like, ah, man, that nigga gonna cry when he get home. No. And I think I said something that kind of like, you know, kind of brought him back to like realize, oh shit, I'm in front of all these people.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean,
it was interesting.
Have you realized that though with Mirror Wellness? I mean, I know you're still early in producing what you've been working on, but okay, let's back up. Tell me about your pitch. I know you didn't get a chance to go through all the way through, but what did you want to present to the people about Mirror Wellness so they understand what you're doing?
So the pitch was based around my why. Like, why do you want to be in NFT space? Why are you going to be in crypto space? So it's based around my why. So I had wrote this article on mirrors, .xyz, who I got like 4 collectors now, which is crazy. I just looked up and I got like people that collected it. So I wrote this article that I turned into an NFT and I made it available for people that can collect it. So I turned that specific article into a presentation. Well, Vanessa did. I just gave her the information and she helped me turn it into a presentation because she be handling shit. So it's really about why I want to focus on wellness in the NFT space, in the crypto space, in the Web3 space. And it talked about, you know, my affinity towards being healthy, my affinity towards balance and like a safe space mentally, professionally. It talked about how important it is for us to realize that social media did something to our youth, that we have the data and the information to know now to be able to better protect ourselves for, you know, the metaverse. It was like, you know, shit like that.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it makes sense to me. That's Mirror Wellness in a nutshell. So how was the event though? And did you feel that you were building community live?
Oh yeah, man. Motherfucking event was fly, man. People in that motherfucker, they eating. Everybody was there. Everybody got disposable cameras to take photos.
Nice.
Open the bar, open food. People was meeting people, talking, mingling. It was just real like an opening space, you know?
You had a DJ?
Nah, fuck no DJ. We had some dope lo-fi, like popular, like some of the music that's just like popular, but it was like lo-fi, real chill vibes. No DJ.
Oh, this is a real mixer.
Real mixing.
Now, do you see that being something that the NFT space is missing, those live events to really just sit down and see people, meet people, touch hands?
Yeah, because we're not selling nothing while we're there. We're not saying, hey, go buy my NFT. We're not doing none of that. We're just hoping that people from Web 2, Web 3 mingle with people. Our next one that we're doing is gonna be in LA on the 29th, actually, on Santa Monica Beach. So this is gonna be our next one that's gonna be more public facing.
Okay, what's the theme?
The theme is always Wellness Wednesday, baby.
Okay.
Theme is always Wellness Wednesdays.
Did you connect with anyone else that has been forward facing with wellness in the NFT space?
I have. I just haven't responded to them because people, like, they saw that we had, that I was speaking. They heard some of the pitch, and people was reaching out.
Got you. Well, it sounds like you're building
I mean, anybody that know me, know I'm about community.
Mm-hmm.
So this Web3 shit and the way that how advanced the technology is and what it means, like this shit like cake, this like taking candy from a baby, because we ain't doing it but bringing lifestyle, making it cool, and then talking about healthy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you putting that carrots with the candy, making that carrot, you know, but we just making lifestyle shit, dressing fly, being fashionably, or having a statement, but we're talking about health, mental, physical, financial. You know, we're connecting people with one another so they can kind of like get where they're trying to go in life, you know what I'm saying, in a genuine way, without saying, hey, you owe me something, you owe me for that. Like, nah, we just connecting and building a community so people can lean on. I'm gonna build this shit into the damn Web3 Soho house. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. You had mentioned the market experiencing a crash right now, but mirror wellness is an idea that you came up with, I want to say, at a point where crypto and NFT, the market was thriving. When you look back on the idea now, does it feel like you were just right on time with what you're doing right now?
1000%. Definitely right on time. Because for me, I'm betting on the technology that is going to make money and be very successful in 5 to 10 years. I just want to be ahead of it. So the market crashing really is a beneficial thing for me. It don't really scare me. Because I wasn't in it for a quick flip. Anytime the market crash, motherfuckers that's in it for the quick flip are the ones that affected the worst.
But on the mental health side of things, I think, how to put this, it's not just people looking for a quick flip that's feeling the heat right now. You know, people could be thinking about the long game, but also it sets in differently for everyone. Like the fluctuation of the market can affect you in various ways. So I feel like that's why it's imperative for people playing the long game to also have the mental fortitude to be able to last. I do believe that the long game is not something you can do if you're not able to have your feet on the ground.
1000%. I mean, you had people that was millionaires in crypto who ain't that no more. They lost their fucking worth in 30 days. You know what I'm saying?
See, that hurt me. I felt
mentally, you got to be able to cope with that and not fucking end up jumping off somebody's bridge. You know what I'm saying? Those are real things.
But in real feelings too, because it's not about just how fast it comes. It's how it makes you feel. You probably feel not just powerful, but you feel secure. You feel like this is who I'm going to be now. This is where I'm going to be going. You know, these are the people I'm going to be talking to, the kind of life I can live. And then it's gone in 30 days. I can't fathom that. So I can only imagine someone that has to wear those shoes.
Yeah, because you wrap that into your identity. It's very, very important that everybody understand when we talking about fuck you money, we're talking about building a life that you can maintain, that makes you happy. Not a life that's attached to money so that you can make that your identity. Your identity and making money should never be the fucking same. Because the moment you're not making any money, you feel like it's a negative blow against your identity of who you truly are spiritually. Like, that shit gotta cut through and make sure that's understood. Fuck you money. It's about building your life the way that you see fit. It's not about making money. I know it's confusing because it says fuck you money. I'm on the phone saying get that money. You know what I'm saying? But it starts with you understanding that money isn't real. and your overall goal is to be healthy, doing the things that you love, whether that earns you $50,000 a year or $50 million a year.
Gotta love it. But you can't love it so much that's who you are.
No, it can't be your identity, man. No.
I feel like that it's so fascinating to hear you say that because how many different identities do you think you've had to have in your lifetime so far, Ty?
Quite a few. I've had a bunch of lifestyles.
Right.
I had a bunch of, I'm on my like fourth life.
But transitioning between those lives though, what was the hardest one to step out of or step into?
Athlete. Stepping out of athlete, trying to be a regular nigga, that shit was hard.
Elaborate.
Bro, when I started playing football and I had to go back to college to get my degree, as a regular nigga, bro, that shit hurt.
I hear you, and I guess because I've never seen you play, I've never experienced Ty the football player. It's so fascinating to hear you talk about having to separate that life. Like you had to sever ties with yourself.
It was my identity. Playing football from grade 7 until 2007, so that's pretty much 98. Like 98 to 2007. So that's like 11 years. Almost 11 years. You know what I'm saying? So we really, and that's organized football. We're not talking about recreation and be like, so you can say from the time that as a kid, when you're like in 6th grade, 7th grade, you started coming to your personality. You started coming to who you like, your core being. So from 6th grade, which is like 97, all the way up into 2007, that was my identity as a football player, not as an athlete. Like I ran track, I tried to wrestle, that shit was fucking hard as shit. But like as a football player, that was my identity. So when that shit wasn't working, I felt down in my personal life. When the coaches didn't want to play me in college, I felt down in my personal life. When I didn't have confidence on the football field, I didn't have confidence in real life. So when I decided to walk away through a conversation that I had with God, I divorced that shit. That's why nobody knows. I act like that shit never happened. And try to form a whole new person, whole new identity.
Where did you start?
What you mean?
With forming this new identity? Like you remove football, but what do you replace it with? Like obviously student.
Bro,
who was the student?
I started fucking promoting strip clubs, bro. I went to a promoting records and promoting clubs.
And that's a pretty solid transition. I mean, obviously you're still dealing with people, but it's a completely different way. You go from people watching you play to you trying to get people to watch someone dance or someone listen to a song.
That was no solid transition, nigga. Let's make sure I'm clear. I was putting flyers on cars to promote strip clubs, nigga. It was not a solid transition.
I'm sitting here thinking you inside the club with a microphone.
Hell no. I was putting flyers on cars, and then when the day of the show happened, I would be at the door making sure that, counting how many people coming in the door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's not even close to being the same thing.
Hell no. Not at all.
Yeah, you are a different person.
Yeah. But the thing that didn't change, which football instilled in me, is my work ethic. And my confidence to start over again. That's the one thing that the identity of that type of sport kind of it fertilized. I had to be confident with myself before I can even be successful on the field. So my confidence within myself didn't necessarily come from playing football, but football helped build that confidence more and more over the years.
Okay, I hear that.
So even today, my confidence today comes from having the confidence when I was in ninth grade, 10th grade, going up against people that was double my size, faster than me, or whatever the case may be. But overall, so I understand what it feels like when you attach your identity to what you want your profession to be. Right now, I was telling one of my friends, I was like, I vacation every month. My damn vacation, my identity is a vacation, nigga. My identity is a beach or some shit. I don't even like going in the water, but my identity is is nature or some shit.
I feel that. Tell me this. So, NFT NYC, what's the age groups you're seeing out there? You feel like you saw a lot of young people?
Definitely a lot of young people. Whole lot of men. Oh my God, so many men.
All right, so
It was a whole lot of men.
a lot of men, right? Okay. Let's say you got a young black man, 19 years old, right? Wants to get into crypto, wants to get into NFTs. What would you tell him about building his confidence in the market, but also keeping his identity away from the kind of success or the kind of failure he experiences while he's trading or while he's building his portfolio?
First of all, I tell them to read. Read every fucking thing. Learn. Because our default is, if we're educated, we're more than likely to be confident in what we're educating ourselves on. Education. I will always lean on telling the motherfucker, you want to be more confident in what you're pursuing? Get educated. Get educated. Educate yourself. Learn everything. Ask all the questions. You feel me?
I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. Also, I feel like, though, in this space, a lot of information is still new. So there's plenty to learn.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty to learn, and there's plenty to create.
Mm.
To be the first of something,
I feel like that's thrilling and frightening at the same time to be first.
Yeah. You gotta be brave to be first. You don't know if that shit gonna work.
Well, yeah. I mean, even if it works, you don't know how long it's going to work because you first.
Yep. You have no historical data.
I feel it.
So then, rolled out of NFT into the polar opposite, into BET Awards.
Let's talk about it.
Before we get, I want to really, really focus on this concept of mental elevation. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're constantly elevating mentally through education, through learning, applying what you learn, and actually getting small or big wins. It's very hard for a human to elevate mentally, to be able to withstand the blows that comes with trying to get fuck you money, if you do not educate your perspective and change your perspective to find the wins on this journey. A win can be as simple as somebody saying, yes, I want to see what you're working on. Somebody that's important in the field that you're working towards. Being able to look up and say, man, I made $200 off of something that I love creating. That is a win. No, it's not a win if you're trying to retire your fucking mama. No, $200 a month ain't gonna retire your mother. But we're not talking about solely materialistic wins that can be impactful to your family. We're talking about confident building wins so that you can have this mental, form this mental superior, like being superior with how your mental handles blowback, how your mental handles failure. Because you're processing and you're programming yourself to identify wins as they're happening very fast, small or large, and also training yourself that 1L, you don't need 10 wins to make up for 1L. Do you know what I'm saying? 1L, 1 win. That's equal. Fuck all of that other shit that we have trained ourselves to kill our confidence by having 1 loss, but then miss out and lose track of the 4 wins that happened before that loss even took place. And so my week in New York and literally today dealing with the BET Awards, the underlying thing that I was just watching and that I was observing is that, man, in order to have a breakthrough for men or women of any age that is responsible enough to push and work hard, you have to retrain your mental perspective on things in this country. I think perspective is different in third world countries. In this country, we have to retrain our perspectives. The type of shit that I hear working in this business, dealing with talent, dealing with managers, dealing with executives, looking at politicians, looking at how people treat their kids or their family. Like, we have such a fucked up perspective on life here in the United States of America. And it's because of being overly privileged from a global perspective. And it creates problems, health problems, mental health problems, financial literacy problems. And it starts at the root of what we see when we open our eyes. One person that opened their eyes and they see that they don't have any power because their building power went out, they may find and say, this is a great time for me to meditate. The next person that opens their eyes and realize that they don't have any power, they go crazy on their landlord. All of these things is perspective. And the smallest things is what helps build up the big things. So if you got a terrible perspective in a smaller way, then in the big picture way, your perspective is going to be fucked up. So like going through NFT and going through all these different things and experiencing these and prepping for this show every other week or 2 times a month, we're like, man, how can we strengthen people's and change people's perspective on how they're waking up every day? And that is the anchor of this shit, yo. That's the anchor of fuck you money. When you say money ain't real, I can have abundance without cheating nobody, without screwing nobody over, without lying to anybody. That is what I believe to be true, and that is how I'm going to work, and that is what I'm going to work on. That's all a perspective change.
Nah, I hear that. So tell me a little bit about what you've been going through with BET weekend.
On organization, you know, watching perspectives not be in the place where I think they probably should be. Some really great experiences that I see people that have really great perspectives on how their current life is going. I've experienced hearing like people be very positive and optimistic about where they're trying to go in their life. I met a neuroscientist, young black woman that's a neuroscientist, randomly at one of our functions that we had. It's been a lot of brightness, but in like future and like progression and like hope Um, but then during the weekend, it's been a big conversation about the abortion concept and this thing about women not being able to really govern and control their bodies in the United States of America. Now, there's other countries where it's harsh, but still, we're supposed to be more liberated and more free in this, and it doesn't always feel like that. I read a tweet, now I actually reposted it, where somebody said 250 plus uh, shooting massacres, and they're worried about our body and not controlling guns.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes it so loud on how destructive our system is to the citizens, all while making it this land of the free where you can come to America and you can make your dream come true. Both things are true. This shit is destructive, but you also can come to this motherfucker and make your dreams come true. And it's like, where do you sit if you feel like you don't fuck with neither one of those? You fuck with one, but you don't fuck with the other, you know? But you know the other options outside of the country might not look the same.
Mm-hmm.
And you grew up here, your family is here. It's hard for you to just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna move to Ghana, or I'm gonna move to Maui, or wherever the fuck, you know, where you think that it might be better at, right? Or Toronto. Love Toronto. But a lot of that has been like, you know, a cloud over the social community through what these bills and these different laws they're writing around women's bodies and what they can't do. And California was a bright spot in that by keeping abortions legal and not participating with this nonsense that's going on, you know?
Absolutely.
You know, yo, we from the South. Them motherfuckers in the South don't give a fuck. Them politicians in the South, them motherfuckers still have slaves if they could.
Man, some still might. And that's the thing, it's like the United States is exactly what it sounds like. It's a bunch of states united. And you're going to see different. You go up north, you go out east, you go out west, you go down south. How liberal things are changes. But the overarching idea of freedom in America, I feel like it shifts every 10 years. The type of things that they want to control shifts every 10 years. And I feel like we've been yelling about gun control. And I don't know what is the most proper way to control guns in America, but just the way they think they can police bodies, how quickly they move on being able to kind of control women is so scary to me. The type of things that they can do, the type of laws they can pass, how swift they can do it. It makes you feel like, well, where does the control lie?
Americans ain't getting rid of them guns. They don't give a fuck how many kids get killed.
Man.
It's harsh to say, but it's obvious. The proof is in the pudding. No other country deals with this many type of gun violent actions in schools.
In the schools. You know, we're not just talking about mass shootings anymore. We're talking about children being murdered.
Yeah.
By automatic weapons.
Yep.
It shouldn't happen, right? I remember growing up in Columbine. Columbine was the mass shooting that was almost like the boogeyman of the country. It was like this blemish that shook the nation. And I felt like I remember seeing TV shows about school shootings. I remember seeing reports. I remember seeing conversations, and it seemed to be that this can't happen again. And the older I get, the more I see it. The older I get, the more it's happening, and the more common it becomes.
Oh yeah.
And that's scary. That's scary to see something happen when you're a child and they ring the alarm. And the older you get, you know, by the time I'm 40, I don't know what gun laws in America will be. I don't feel hopeful. I don't feel hopeful. And that's a scary thing to say in a country that you live in, all your family is in, and that you don't even feel hopeful about the progress when something like children being murdered can't be corrected.
Hey man, this shit's good and bad.
I mean, yeah, you know. But for you though, like I feel like you've been moving around a lot, you've been seeing a lot, you've been hearing a lot. When you look 10 years ahead, what's a change you want to see in 10 years? It could be a mental change, it could be a physical change, it could be laws changes, but in 10 years,
In 10 years,
what do you want to see that's different?
in 10 years, I would like to see Black people mobilize around causes that really affect our community better to help create change. I don't think we mobilize the same way they used to mobilize Black people in doing the civil rights.
Hmm. Hmm.
We don't mobilize like the we don't mobilize like the gay community. We don't mobilize around things like the Jewish community. I mean, we don't even mobilize like how Peter mobilized. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have a lot of power and we do not utilize it to benefit ourselves in a way that it can affect generations to come in a positive manner and make it a better place. That's one thing I want to see is the mobilization of Black people to fight more to make causes and changes that can be helpful for our generations to come. Second thing I want to see is that we become kinder to the earth. I mean, we're really harsh to the earth right now.
Mm.
How we eat, how we drink, how we move around, litter, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Those are the two things I would like to see over the next 10 years.
man, I remember conversations about global warming. As that's another thing I remember as a kid. They would talk about global warming. I feel like I feel it now. I feel like this summer is definitely a summer where I can tell that the planet's different. How the season is affecting us is different. This heat is different. Our winters are different. Spring is different. Like if the seasons aren't telling us that the planet is reacting to what we're doing, and I want to use the word negatively, but it has to be negative for it to be this hot. Like it's scorching outside. And it's just not even July yet. So I feel like when you're watching changes in the way that the earth is reacting to the people, then yeah, that has to be something that we have to prioritize. And I mean, seriously prioritize. I feel like sometimes we treat the planet like it's a second-rate citizen that we don't have to cherish and care for the way we care for our family member.
Yeah, we definitely treat it harsh. When you got something that you feel like is abundant, you're more likely to abuse it.
Yeah. Especially if you feel like it's not going nowhere, that it's always gonna be here for you to treat however you want to treat it. You're not gonna like have the same cherishing love and care and affection.
Oh, 1,000%.
But it's things. Do you feel like leadership, especially like you talked about this organization earlier. Like how is leadership in those spaces, like the NFT space? Do you feel like there's leadership there? Same thing with BET Weekend. Like, are you feeling like there's leaders on the ground in places where there's large communities?
Yeah, I think it's the leaders. I think there's leaders. The issue I think that everybody run into is not enough supporter of leaders. It's too many motherfuckers that think they can be leaders that they don't really have. They're not cut from that cloth. That's the problem. Twitter, social media gave everybody an opinion, and those same tools made it so that everybody think that they can be a leader, or that they are a leader. Not that they can't be a leader, that they are a leader. When in actuality, they should be a supporter, because they probably have a more impact in that way.
Supporting a leader.
Yeah, the supporter don't get the flowers.
No, you know, there's something that social media has taught us that everybody wants their flowers today, right now.
Yeah.
But I hear you. That's such an interesting point too, because it's when you talk about the civil rights movement,
Everybody don't got it.
the the people that got championed were the people who were ready to be leaders, or maybe they were appointed leaders, but they were supported. Online, social media, followers, engagements, it fluctuates so much. Who is a leader? Like it's hard to tell. And again, that's why I think it's amazing that you're doing like real events in real life, meeting people, because then you get a chance to meet new supporters. You get a chance to see people you discern as leaders. It's I won't say it's easier to determine when you get a chance to meet people, but it's not as much noise as it is online when you're able to kind of narrow the room to a size where you can actually meet people for real.
Yeah. It's all interesting, to say the least.
It's yeah. We live in interesting times. It's probably like maybe one of the most interesting times of our society for real, because so much is changing. So much is new too. Like you were talking about a lot of new technology. I think that's fascinating because it's moving faster now than it's ever moved.
Yeah. I feel my spirit is good every day, but I feel rich in spirit. I feel like I got a Warren Buffett rich type of spirit today.
And that is another episode of Fuck You Money with Ty and Yoh. Thank you for listening.